What up guys, JZNES back again with another video. Today I'm here to talk about Inside on the PS4 there. Uh, Now, I should be talking about Limbo first on PS4, but yeah, fucking it's called Inside Limbo. Not Inside Limbo, but it's called Inside and Limbo. It's a two-pack, and they put Inside first, so naturally, I assume that Inside is the first game, but it's not. I was gonna say, I wonder about the disc. I think the disc just downloads the games because you have to download both games or whatever. But yeah, like, how crazy is that? So like, I'm sitting here. I'm an idiot, of course, because that's what it's not that crazy. It's just I'm a fucking idiot. Forgot that Limbo came out first. I kind of even knew that. Like, obviously, I remember hearing about Limbo, and I'm like, Inside was like the more recent game. Turns out it was from like 2016 or something. And Limbo, I think, is from like 2010 or something like that. Whatever it would say on here. But anyway, these these games are made like by Play Dead and then 505 Games. Or I only know 505 Games because I'm pretty sure they're the ones who made that really rare Game Boy Advance game, the Ninja. Isn't that it? The Ninja game or whatever? Or maybe it's just because it's called Ninja 50. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. 505 Games. I don't know if they made that or not. I don't believe that they did, but it's called Ninja 50. That's why it is. That's why I'm thinking of it, you know. Uh, it's very similar. But anyway, I don't know if they made that. I don't think they did. They make these like kind of indie games or sort of like it's like they're you can tell they're artsy and that kind of stuff, and that's what the game is. It's like it's just a really artsy sort of platformer game, and a lot of the mechanics are pretty cool. It's like a side-scrolling kind of deal, which is cool. I like that kind of stuff. But the game, I don't know if you can see, like, look at all these fucking reviews. It's like, is that like IGN and shit? Yeah, like IGN and like Giant Bomb and like all these things. And they got different ones for Limbo, but they're all giving them like 10 out of 10 and like 5 out of 5. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what did the game do that I didn't like get? Like what's missing here? What's supposed to blow me away about this? That's kind of how I felt about it. Now, not to say that the game wasn't good. I thought the game was fine. It did what it did well. It had good gameplay. There's a lot of cool puzzles. There's this little like submarine thing you go through the water. Later on, you just get a power up where you can like go through the water or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know why that is, but then you can just breathe underwater finally, and it's just like, oh, okay. Seeing a lot of puzzles with that. A lot of like gravity puzzles. A lot of like stuff where you have to like hit a switch, or like you get these like other like mannequin sort of dudes that I think were real people at one point. I don't know. There's nothing to the story that like tells you anything. It just like shows you. It's all show, not tell. But a little tell and a lot of show could have been a lot better because then I have at least some context for what's going on. Maybe that's where the 10 out of 10 is. Maybe I'm misinterpreting what the story's about or whatever, but I think it's meant to be interpreted whatever way you want it to be interpreted. And there's not a lot of it, so I mean, maybe I missed a lot of key details or something. I don't know. But what I'm saying by that is there's these mannequin guys that you can control with this little helmet thing. To start with, they're just like hanging from different places, and so you can control them and that kind of thing. And then later on, you get one where you can just like it comes onto your head and you can control them. And then like later in the game, you don't even need the helmet, so it's like, what? Like, okay, like fine. And they just like follow you anyway, kind of thing. But it's cool because then you can get a whole bunch of them and like kind of get them to help you jump to higher places and stuff like that. There's this one puzzle where you have to put them all on a switch or whatever, and that's probably the coolest part of the game, honestly, because there's like an open area. You kind of go up and down, and there's all over the place. There's these guys. It's pretty cool. So the game is cool, and it's really short. It's like 3.5 hours long, which is perfectly acceptable. That's great. I love games that are short. But it feels really old school. But it's like, where's all of the 10 out of 10 and like 5 out of 5? Where's all that coming from? I don't. I can't get on hype with that. I'm not on that wavelength with this one. I think it's a fine game. It's certainly passable. The music is atmospheric enough to, get the message across, and the graphics are good, but they're basic. It's an indie kind of game. I get it. That's the style you're going for, whatever. That's cool. Um, and it's, mostly in black and white too. So I think all in black and white. Honestly, let me look. Yeah, I don't think there's a single color. I think it's all in black and white. I feel like what happened was I haven't played Limbo yet, but I know that was a game that did really well, and then it was a big sensation or whatever. I feel like what happened, and this is why I hate playing games out of order, because then I lose the context of what's going on and whatnot. But I feel like what happened was Limbo was a big success, so they're like, let's make another game that's sort of like Limbo, and we're gonna put some new puzzle elements in there, and then we're gonna still keep it black and white because people love black and white. That's what's going on here. But I feel like that's what they were thinking. Why change it? Why make it any different? That kind of thing. I'm sure that's what I'm gonna find out when I go and play Limbo. Is it's very similar to this game, but I'm hoping that game will have a little more to it. But it was clever with its puzzles and stuff, and I liked those, and don't get me wrong, I mean those were good, and I had to sort of think about some of them, what can I do to get past this. And you know what it kind of reminded me of, now that I'm thinking about it, I had this thought while I was playing the game. It kind of reminds me of one of those old games Out of This World or Heart of Darkness, where it's one of those cinematic platformer kind of games where you're kind of doing the action, and if you don't do the action perfectly, then you're pretty much screwed. So you kind of have to go back and memorize and whatnot, and just kind of go through it that way, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it feels a lot like one of those kind of games. So if you're into those kind of games, you probably like this game a lot. I liked this game. I just, I'm not as 10 out of 10 sold on it as everyone else. Is the soundtrack still going, or what's the deal? No? What's up with that? Oh, it is still going. It's very ambient. It's quiet, and you don't hear it or whatever. I don't know. It just blends into the background, right? That's the whole deal here. So he plays this kid or whatever, and that's as much as the story gives you. You're some kid trying to run away from these adults who I assume are going to put you in this place where all these other guys... There's always these people walking... It's like a Nazi death camp kind of thing almost, where they're walking in the background and doing menial tasks and whatever, and they're all programmed and controlled by this company or something. I don't know. I mean, that's what I can gather. I mean, is it... what's the bigger significance here? Is it a story about the working class man and how jobs suck and we're all just robots controlled by the government or something? Is that what this game's trying to say to me? I don't know. Is that what I'm supposed to get out of this or something? It's hard to say, There's not a story. It's just whatever you want to glean out of the story, I guess. So, yeah, there's really not that much more to say about even the gameplay and stuff. There's these little boxes that you pump them up and then you can rocket up on them, and there's some few interesting things they do with that. There's this part where there's a lot of parts actually where you have to hide behind things because either a guy is coming to grab you or there's a machine that's ready to kill you kind of thing. So that's kind of interesting, but that's literally the whole game is just all of what I've described to you right there. And they take those and they put it into little different cool puzzles. There's there's an Easter egg system in this game where there's these little hidden secrets or whatever. So that's kind of cool. I don't know what they do. They give you an achievement every time you get them, so that's cool, I guess. If you're into looking around for secrets and stuff, that's pretty neat. But other than that, I don't really know. There's just not a lot to say about the game, and just the fact that it's there's not a lot to say about it. It's an alright game, it just makes me think okay, well, it's not a 10 out of 10 kind of game. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. I don't believe I missed anything grand or epic that would make it 10 out of 10, but it's a pretty decent game. I'm gonna give it a 7. out of 10, probably like a 7.3 or something. I don't know, like that'll do. You know, like yeah, it's a game. It sure is, and it's got atmosphere, and it's a side scroller game. You know, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, was this like could this have been like we were like really starving for platformers around then? But no, like way before 2016 there was this big boom of like 2D side scrolling stuff, and retro stuff became big again, and you know, there's all these like WiiWare title games and stuff where they like did that, and then like even Shovel Knight, like I'm pretty sure came out before this, so that's like retro nostalgia all in like one big game. So like it's not like we were hurting for some side scrollers here, but maybe like cinematic side scrollers. Maybe that's why people are really into this. It's like you know, they like those out of the world, out of this world, and like Heart of Darkness kind of game, and Flashback, that was another one. So maybe people just like really are into that genre and just really love that. Uh, you know, and that's why it's like a 10 out of 10 to them. But it's like across the board, this game gets like unreal praise, which like, yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys all like it so much, but like, what's the big deal? You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. And maybe it was just because it was by the same people who made Limbo, and everyone had these like vivid and great memories with Limbo or whatever, which unfortunately I haven't experienced yet, and I won't probably experience for a while, because today's the day that the Pokemon DLC came out, so there goes the next probably month of my life while I try to catch the new 100 Pokemon that aren't really new. There's only like 3 or 4 probably new Pokemon. I hope there's more new Pokemon than those, but we'll find out. Also, since I haven't mentioned it in any videos since the Persona 4 video, which is funny because immediately after I make that video, they announced this. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you could have just waited. You could have just like done this like 2 weeks sooner, so I could have put it in my video that Persona 4 is finally coming to Steam. Well, it was coming to Steam, and guess what? It's now on Steam, and I bought it, and it's awesome, and it's cool. And I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm like, it's like dramatic. It's like, Persona 4 is on Steam now. Go get it. It's $20. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's $20. It's not even just Persona 4. It's Persona 4 Golden. If they had released the PS2 version, I'd be a little mad. But they released Persona 4 Golden. I'm so happy. You can all play it now and stop pretending like the not having a Vita is an excuse, even though the Vita is really expensive, and I completely understand that mentality. But now you have no excuse. You must go play Persona 4 Golden and experience it, and have it be your number 4 game of all time behind 3 games that can't be beaten because they're nostalgic games to you from the past that are still really good, and nobody can convince you otherwise. But this can instantly make it to your top 10 games once you play it, like it did for me. Which is, my point is, Persona 4 like was one of the only games to like immediately after I played it, something new that like I didn't have any like nostalgia or any hype going in for. I mean, I had a little hype, just a little bit. I was like, there's no way surely that can live up to all this hype, and then it's like it surpassed the hype, man. And it made it all the way to my top 4 on my list there. So, but anyway, this isn't a video about Persona 4. I just really needed to say that in a video at some point before it got too irrelevant. That Persona 4 is finally on Steam, and I can stop complaining about it. Inside is a game, like Dino City, from JonTron. Dino City is a game, you know. So anyway, Inside's a game. It's cool for the cinematic platformer lovers, and you guys are gonna love it. I'm gonna give it a 7.3, and you can all at me in the comments about how it's a 10 out of 10, and you can explain to me why it is, and that's cool. I'm looking forward to Limbo still, even though, I mean, that's the nice thing about this game, is like, even if you don't, like, it's not that I didn't like the game. I liked the game. I thought it was fine. Even if you don't like the game, you're out 3 hours. Okay, whatever, right? Most games take way longer than that. Most games take 3 hours to set up, which is bullshit. Some games take 20 hours to set up. Final Fantasy 13, and then they don't get anywhere with it by 60 hours. So good on you, Inside, for getting your point across in 20 times less, you know, divisible by 20 for Final Fantasy 13. So, hey, look, it's a 10 out of 10 game because it's better than Final Fantasy 13. Anyway, This has been JZNES, and keep it classic. Stick around for more views, underrated games. I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ